Welcome back, everyone, to Starcraft versus 40k with Ludus Infinium. And today, thanks to commenter IDK, we're doing Terran versus Tau. Also, this will be the first one that is not written by me. I do the research and I pass the notes off to someone else, and they handle the majority of the writing for me, so hopefully it will sound better and sound more fluid. I will be adding stuff in here and there, but for the most part, let's see how it goes. So let's do a little bit of a backstory on the Tau Empire and the Terran Dominion. Just kind of like a flat numbers kind of thing. So through my research, the most I could find for the Terran Dominion was approximately 40 to 50 planets, where for the Tau it was closer to 100. So already the Tau already have double the potential military size, which is not always true, but they have that at least potential. So let's talk about how they have survived in their relative worlds. Well, the Tau's influence has enticed many from the highest inquisitors of their order to the lowliest of soldiers of the Astra Militarum. They have been quite able to persuade small amounts of races to fully commit to their war for their greater good. These races include the Kroot, Vespids, Nikasar, and various human groups, including small groups from the Imperium, as well as rumored small groups of Chaos cultists. The Tau are well known for their advanced technological ability, though neither side have specifics for their numbers. The Tau have their technological prowess and firepower to hold their own against, the Imperium, and I think in this case that would also give them the case to hold their own against the Dominion very easily, and eventually turn the tide and potentially win. So, what makes a difference here for me is throughout the history of both, they have both been under constant warfare, both the Tau and the Dominion. The Tau not only take that essentially on the chin, as it were, they also advance while they are in this constant state of warfare. At the same time, the Terran Dominion have been in a constant state of warfare, but they have to rebuild every single time, or almost every single time, to the point where there really is no advancement. There's just this cycle, if you would. So let's talk about their army, or what makes up the majority of their army. So first we're going to talk about the most numerous unit in the Dominion's arsenal, the Marine, or at least the foot soldiers. Most of them are either psychopaths or convicts. Yeah. Normally that would do them kind of well. In this case, I don't think so. The Tau, on the other hand, at least their firecast, are soldiers. They are trained. They are, I don't want to say really bred for it, but kind of bred for it. Then you have their mercenary races, the Kroot, the Vespid, the Nikasar, the various humans. It goes on and on. So, realistically, it comes down to, can the Terrans have enough versatility to match, at this point, multiple armies? Because the Tau, in a sense, do have multiple armies. In this, I'm going to focus primarily on two of them. That of the Tau and that of the Kroot. And I think that's where the biggest differences are going to be made. So let's start off with the Starcraft Marine versus the 40k Fire Warrior. And this was a weird one. This really was. So I had already made the judgment in Terran Dominion versus Imperial Man that they would have no chance versus Astartes. Not even a 0.001 chance. They would have to get off the luckiest of hits to take on Astartes. I equated them more towards guardsmen at that point. However, against a Fire Warrior, it becomes actually a really, really odd fight. And here's why. The Fire Warriors do not have armor like the Astartes do. But their weapons penetrate a hell of a lot more. So their weapons would chew through Marines. And they have a longer range. So if we were to take this to its logical conclusion of just Marines and just Fire Warriors, it comes down to a question of range. If the Fire Warriors can keep range on their side, they win. And that is the way they fight, so I think they could honestly do it. The Pathfinders, which are... They are, but they aren't included in Fire Warriors. They're special units. Have even less armor, but rely on their stealth and have longer range throughout most of the lore and the games. And so it's just adding to that advantage of the long range and the extra weapon penetration. So as far as Marine versus Fire Warrior, could the Marines win? Yes. Is it likely? No. I don't see how they could get in range of Fire Warriors, or Pathfinders for that matter. And then the next one, I thought this would be so funny to do, but I'm going to combine two here. The Goliath and the Thor versus the battlesuits. And here's why I'm combining these two, because the Thor is essentially comparable to most of the battlesuits. I'll go that far. Do I think it matters? No, because when you put both of them in there against the battlesuits, it's a matter of versatility. You know, you're taking things that work like artillery, or are artillery, against the Thor, which, yes, it is powerful. It is not artillery. Against the Goliath, also not artillery. It doesn't have the range. Now, that said, there's also anti-Titan battlesuits. Or even if you want to get into slightly more specifics, there's one instance that I think would be the most hilarious thing to ever watch, and that is Commander Farsight and his battlesuit going into melee against a bunch of Goliaths. That would be funny to me. Don't know why it would be that funny to me, but it would be funny. Alright, so now we're going into flying units, and this is one I really don't want to get into, because this is probably the most vague out of all of them, because I couldn't really find much in the way of ship sizes for either, realistically. But here's where here's where my research came into being helpful, I guess would be the word. So, there is a gap between battlecruisers and most Tau air units. However, anything below a battlecruiser is essentially outmatched. And realistically, you've got the Wraith, and that's about it. The Wraith and the Valkyrie. I don't remember many other air units, the Viking, too, could be an air unit. But realistically, the Viking would be outmatched easily. The Wraith would also very easily be outmatched. The Viking might put up a little bit of a fight, but in the end, there's just... The Tau have the technological advantage here. That said, here's where things get a bit interesting for the Terran Dominion. The number of battlecruisers varies depending on which source you look at, from anywhere from 30 in the entire Dominion to literal hundreds. So it comes down to which one you believe. Even if they had, let's say, 200 battlecruisers, I don't think that's going to be enough to take on the Tau Empire. If they had 1,000, I could make an argument that space warfare would go to the Terran Dominion. Realistically, though, even with 1,000, I think, even with the goofy fucking game design of the battlecruisers zipping around and just doing like turns that would shear that ship in half, If we're going with how a space battle would really look between them, the Tau have the advantage of maneuverability and potentially in firepower short of a Yamato cannon. Even with the air-to-air or air-to-space, or space-to-space, I guess, I don't know, barrages from the battlecruiser, I think that would be about on par with most Tau capital ships. So, even if it's tit for tat, I think the Tau A would have more ships, and B at that point would be able to just wash over whatever the Dominion had. They would pay for it. They would, absolutely. But they have the forces to be able to pay for it. So, in conclusion, due to their way of fighting, which tends to be more of diplomacy rather than fighting, but if they have to fight, they will do it. Their advanced technology and their almost fanatical reason for fighting, I really do believe the Tau would win this. We'll call it 9.5 times out of 10. Again, part of it where it gets muddled is the amount of planets, so you can quantify a military, and the amount and size of their air units would also be helpful. But even with those, I still lean very heavily towards the Tau. I think when it comes to a ground war, Tau make this all the way. And it really does come down to their range and the versatility of their battle suits. And if we're including the Tau Empire and the Farside Enclave, as far as kind of like a quote-unquote hero unit kind of thing, as far as the Terran Dominion, yeah, you had, I would even be willing to throw in General Duke, even though he's dead by Starcraft 2, but you have Gem Raynor, you have Arcturus Minx, you have Valerian Minx, you have the mercenary units, I don't think very much will be able to stand up to the Farside Enclave as far as like a heroes versus heroes battle. But that's just my take on it. I appreciate you all sitting here listening to me. Let me know what you thought about the new scripting, at least. Let me know what improvements y'all could see. Yeah, I, again, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for making it this far. And I just wanted to say a special thank you to my patrons up in this corner who have been supporting my channel for a pretty long time, for most of them. They are the ones who, without them and without the people on my Discord, link in the description, I would never have made it this far with my YouTube channel. So a very special thank you to them. Also, I have 2 videos. I believe the top one is the one that's recommended per viewer on my channel, and then the one in the bottom is the most recent upload. So give those a check. Let me know what you think on them. But the most important thing of all, I know we're all going through hard times. Just try and be there for one another. Try and lift each other up. That's one of the biggest things I try to make on my Discord, where we're all one big, not necessarily community, but family. And when someone just needs someone just to listen to, just be there for them. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have a very wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!